A very good morning, my dear Silent Rose family. Today, August 15th, is such an important day for our Catholic Church. It is the feast of the Assumption of our Blessed Mother into heaven. Before we get into our reflection for today, I wanted to give you a quick reminder that Ascension and Assumption are two very different things. Ascension is when Jesus was taken up into heaven after 40 days since his resurrection, while Assumption is when Mother Mary was taken up into heaven, body and soul together. Through the Assumption of our Blessed Mother, one thing that is very clear is that God's goodness has no end. As we know it, life on earth, for us at least, ends with death. But Mother Mary's case was different. She was chosen and set apart for a unique calling that God had invited her to, and her body and soul was created exactly for that. And she is somebody, despite the many challenging circumstances that she has faced in her life, has always stayed true and faithful and obedient to God's call for her every step of the way. And that kind of faithfulness and dedication to God did not go unrewarded. As Mother Mary was assumed into heaven, God very clearly gave us the message: His goodness and mercy has no end. It is something that even surpasses death. If we reflect on the life of our dear Blessed Mother, we do see that she did some really special things. She was chosen to be the Mother of God, and she silently played a very big and important part in God's work of redemption. But if we think about her human life, she did suffer a lot of anguish and loneliness. At a very young age, her parents, who were a big part of her relationship with God, passed away, and she was left alone then in her childhood. And even at the time of her betrothal, she said yes to God's plan, despite not having the answers to everything. And had it not been for God's intervention, Saint Joseph was planning to leave her silently when he found out that she was with child. Despite having a wonderful, supportive husband like Saint Joseph, Mother Mary's journey and experience in giving birth to our Lord Jesus was not the easiest either. And then, a few decades of married life later, her husband passed away. And at a very young age, where her son Jesus was, at 33, she had to go through a horrible experience of seeing her only son being humiliated and tormented until death. Mother Mary's human life was a struggle, but even in that struggle, she always chose to stay faithful to God. Her only priority was to be obedient to God's will. She was set aside for God's will, and her life was a living testament of how important she was to God's big plan for the redemption of mankind. And so, dear friends, this is also a beautiful example for us to always stand up for the truth, to work to glorify God, and to always, most importantly, be obedient. When we do all these things, we may not necessarily win in the eyes of the world, but in the eyes of God, your obedience is valued much more than the most precious jewel on this planet. And Mother Mary's Assumption is a true testament of this. Have a wonderful day, dear friends. God bless.